performance. As for your requests on our Instagram page, this next video we're going to do an in-depth tactical analysis of Jadon Sancho. So before we start talking about Sancho as an individual, we have to see where he fits and where he plays within his team's formation. So Sancho is currently playing in the Bundesliga for Borussia Dortmund, and they occupy a 4-2-3-1 formation, with Sancho primarily playing as the left-hand sided winger, although sometimes he does operate on the right-hand side also.
So as you can see in this clip, Sancho is occupying a left wing position, however he's playing a lot more centrally than a traditional left winger. That is in order to exploit space in behind to attack central positions.
Whether he's playing left or whether he's playing right, his objective is to stay in tight and into half spaces rather than staying primarily wide as a winger. At Dortmund, the width usually comes from the full-back positions, with Sancho and his midfield three operating passes through the lines in order to pick up the ball in half spaces. This is primarily important in order to make it difficult for full-backs and centre-halves to figure out who's picking them up. If you play within these spaces of the pitch, it attracts the attention of the full-backs in, or a centre-half to come and pick you up, leaving spaces for your strikers, your midfielders and your full-backs to exploit.
So like we just talked about, Sancho is picking up space in the central left channel in order to exploit space in behind left by the centre-halves. Due to his positioning, it is difficult for full-backs or centre-halves to figure out who is picking up. As we see in this clip, he simply drifts into space and picks up a position to score.
The ball starts to move into the middle of the pitch and Borussia Dortmund start to move up the pitch. Sancho will primarily look to offer in between lines depending on which midfielder has the ball. By showing in these half spaces and not pushing her wide, Sancho provides a passing option to be able to get on the ball and turn and drive, but he also allows his fullback the overlapping option as he attracts the attention of the fullback in these positions. So by picking up that half space, he makes it extremely difficult for fullbacks and centre-halves to deal with the ball getting into his feet. If the centre-halves and fullbacks stay off him and that ball arrives at his feet here, he can turn, drive and create 2v1 situations with either the fullback against the opposition's fullback or centre-half and a striker in here. Very, very simply then, if the centre-half or the fullback decides to go tight, then that leaves space for 1-2 passes to combine and play in behind, or to play the fullbacks here, or the midfielder offering again to be able to play that pass.
So as we can see, this clip starts with Sancho on the right hand side of the pitch, and as we can see with his positioning in between centre-halves and full-backs, he allows spaces for forward runners from striking positions and from midfield, and eventually leads to him scoring a goal.
As the ball starts to move into the opposition's half of the pitch, whether it be through two deeper midfielders or through the midfield three up here, Sancho's position becomes a little bit different, as does his wide player here. They will essentially play off the shoulder of the centre-halves, in between the centre-halves and the full-backs, to create really a front three, leaving space for the striker to pick up the ball as the centre-halves narrow, or for passes in between the lines, make it difficult for the back four to deal with their runs. Sancho will always play in the inside channel, allowing width from the full-back to come and exploit out wide, while also creating goal scoring opportunities for himself, Haaland and his opposite winger.
As the ball has progressed into the opposition's half and near the opposition's box, we can see Sancho drifts into a wider position in order to stretch the back four. So he starts narrow. As the ball begins to come up the pitch and break into the opposition's half, he picks up the wide position on the shoulder of the fullback in order to exploit space and put himself in a goal scoring chance.
In order to create an effective transition to attack, Sancho will stay up top of the striker in order to provide a two-man attacking option for Dortmund to exploit. Dortmund's transition to attack is extremely effective and extremely quick. As soon as the ball is won, they will look to feed midfield players. Their attacking midfielder will push up into central areas of the pitch, look to feed Sancho in behind as soon as they can. Sancho will always stay high in the transition. Very, very rarely will come back to defend on his side. He will always look to exploit spaces and provide that two-man attack with the striker for a quick transition. Again, his positioning is in between full-back and centre halves, playing off the blind side and playing off the shoulder to exploit that space in behind.
So as we can see, as Dortmund win the ball back and look to progress, Sancho is in a high position playing centrally in order to exploit the space in behind and act as that second striker in order to score the goals.
So there it is, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video looking at the tactical analysis of Jadon Sancho. As always, if you like what we do, make sure to like and share our videos from the YouTube channel with all your friends. And to never miss any of our videos in the future, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Goodison Wall.